You were never a king. You were never even a monster.
Safe. Mothra.
What did you say that?
Psych! First off, and the shit you say. This my wife, but at least I gotta beat you dead. You claim to be a Muslim, but you Irish white. So fuck you back, the mic, let's fight.
So Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and I loved it. Not a perfect movie, but I thought it was fun, and filled with some great fights. I talked more about it in my Monsterverse video, so check that out. But ever since the movie released, Kong fans have been a little salty, because Kong lost, and Godzilla fans have been mocking and poking fun at them for that, mainly in the form of memes. And some of these are just, I don't want to say cringe, because that's overused, so it's like if AIDS got gonorrhea. This one was just the worst, completely unfunny. Why does the font change colors? This is like the type of meme you see in 2010. And of course you got a Mothra joke, so that's really original. And yes, most of these are from Facebook and iFunny, of course.
Am I dead yet?
But what I want to do is tell Kong fans that they shouldn't be as upset by the result of the movie because everything was stacked against Kong the whole time. And I'm going to go through and explain that all things considered, Kong did very well, and in the end, he bowed to no one. Alright, so let's talk about the first fight. It's when Kong is being transported by ship, because that's a good idea when trying to avoid a radioactive lizard that lives in the ocean. Godzilla shows up, Kong and him fight, Kong gets dragged under, and then they play dead to make Godzilla think he won. There are 3 important things to note here. First, they mentioned that they had Kong sedated through the chains on his wrist and neck, so when Godzilla comes looking for smoke, he's gonna be groggy from the drugs they had him on. Second, Kong is completely out of his element. He lived on an island his whole life, so being in an ocean and only being able to stand on boats while Godzilla is right at home in the water puts Kong at a huge disadvantage. And third, Kong wasn't expecting a fight. Hell, he was asleep most of the time, and wasn't sure exactly what was going on. So Godzilla had the home field advantage by attacking in the water, he wasn't weakened or tired, and he was actively looking for a fight. So I'm not surprised at all that Godzilla won when they fought in the water. Kong was kind of in a fucked up situation, so I'm not at all surprised how it turned out. Okay, so now let's talk about the second fight, which is 2 rounds, and I considered it just one long fight, but since the movie mentions that it's 2 rounds, we'll do the same. So Kong gets the axe from Hollow Earth, Godzilla blasts a hole down to him, then Kong comes up and they start the fight. And Kong is doing much better this time, and using the axe to his advantage, until he finally gets one over on Godzilla. The humans say round 2 goes to Kong, giving him a massive W. So by using the axe and absorbing the blast from Godzilla, Kong was able to win that part of the fight. But when Godzilla gets up and Kong no longer has the axe because he exhausted his energy, Godzilla proceeds to push his shit in.
And I had my shit pushed in, bro, big time.
And so they fight for a while, and Godzilla starts moving much faster than I've ever seen before. Seriously, he's like a fucking crackhead. He's like a Saiyan. He got a Zenkai boost after losing the last round, and so now he comes back stronger than ever. But eventually Godzilla stands over Kong.
You were never a king. You were never even a monster.
They have a face-to-face roar-off, which is really cool, and Godzilla leaves Kong to die to his wounds. And Kong fans are really annoyed here because Kong did really good in the first part of the fight, but after the axe was exhausted of its energy, Kong couldn't get the upper hand again. What I think greatly tips the odds in Godzilla's favor is experience. Kong is pretty young in the grand scheme of things. He was smaller in Skull Island, and he got bigger, but he has only ever lived on the island, and grew accustomed to fighting the creatures on it, mainly the skull crawlers. You can actually see an example of his inexperience when he gets to Hollow Earth, and the Warbat quickly gets the upper hand on him, and it's made clear that Kong's never been to Hollow Earth, so he had no idea how to fight these things. Now look at Godzilla, who's not only been alive for thousands of years, but we've seen him fight more diverse enemies. A big Muto and a flying Muto in the first movie, then a 3-headed dragon from space, granted with some help from the humans. And he's clearly been the alpha for a long time, so who knows what else he's fought. And more importantly, there's a glimpse and mentions of an ancient feud between Kong's ancestors and Godzilla's. And knowing that Godzilla is thousands of years old, he was around for that. In the novelization of the movie, it explains much more than the movie did, and it stated that it was Godzilla himself who killed Kong's ancestors when they started becoming too human and started to hunt uncontrollably and enslave other titans. So Godzilla put a stop to it and was restoring balance, which is something that Dr. Serizawa mentions a few times in prior movies. So Godzilla is OP as fuck, because he's fought and killed several others just like Kong, and judging from the weapons and the fact that they lived in Hollow Earth, they were more battle hardened than Kong himself was. So taking all that into consideration, I think Kong did a great job, and at the end they had respect for each other. And clearly the movie was written to greatly favor Godzilla in their fights, either putting them on the water, or after the axe loses his power, Kong loses his offense, and the fact that Godzilla is just more experienced. Oh, and people are wondering how Godzilla couldn't beat Mechagodzilla, but Kong was able to do some damage to him before dealing the killing blow. Well, Kong just got a jumpstart waking him back up from his dying state, and he sneak attacks Mechagodzilla, and then him and Godzilla team up to beat him. Every time Mechagodzilla dealt with one, the other one was right there as well. So 2-on-1 is pretty hard to deal with. Also, this next one's just a big fan theory, but since Mechagodzilla is made from one of the heads of Ghidorah, it probably already has knowledge on how to fight Godzilla, but he has never met Kong before, and then he gets double teamed. Also, what kills Mechagodzilla is the axe all charged up, the same axe that laid out Godzilla earlier, so that weapon is strong as hell. So yeah, it wasn't Kong just defeating Mechagodzilla, it was Kong and Godzilla working together to defeat Mechagodzilla. Honestly, I'm not surprised by the outcome of the battle between Godzilla and Kong. We've seen Godzilla fight several times in the MonsterVerse, and it's been made clear that he's been the alpha for a long time. So I figured Kong was going to be at a disadvantage the whole time, and generally wouldn't be as strong or as experienced as Godzilla was. And I'm not really a mega fan of Godzilla or Kong, but I like both of them, and I had a lot of fun watching the movie. But anyway, that's just what I think. So why don't you go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, go and drop a like on it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.
What's that?
No, don't!
Traps Illustrated? Freddy!
I read it for the articles.